know where she is?
Didn't do anything. Yeah, you did.
Oh my God, it's her.
I just got a message. She's walking over to my house.
I've never heard of a case where the kidnappers drop their victim at the front door of their house.
We thought she's this innocent victim. She looks more like a suspect.
It was a case that gripped the Bay Area nearly 10 years ago, and now the almost unbelievable story behind the kidnapping of Denise Huskins has been turned into a new Netflix docuseries. American Nightmare is out today, and it chronicles what happened after Huskins' boyfriend called police in March of 2015, saying an intruder wearing a wetsuit broke into their Vallejo home, tied him up, and abducted Huskins. From the start, police were skeptical of Aaron Quinn's story, and they pressured him to confess to killing his girlfriend. But then Huskins suddenly turned up alive and described being held captive and raped. Investigators, though, were still suspicious of the couple, and in an astonishing twist, publicly accused them of carrying out a hoax.
Mr. Quinn and Ms. Huskins has plundered valuable resources away from our community and has taken the focus away from the true victims of our community while instilling fear amongst our community members. So if anything, it is Mr. Quinn and Ms. Huskins that owes this community an apology.
I was covering the case then. I was at that news conference. I remember it well. The saga, though, did not end there. While Huskins and Quinn were treated as criminal suspects, well, the real kidnapper would emerge. Here with us now is our crime reporter Henry Lee, who is featured in this docuseries after covering this case extensively. So, Henry, while police were sort of framing this, not sort of, but they did, in fact, frame it as a hoax, you received an email that really blew up that theory.
Yeah, I started getting these series of emails, in fact, manifestos. They became longer and longer from someone who said, I'm part of a criminal organization. We actually did kidnap Denise Huskins. Vallejo police should listen to her. We did it, and this really happened. Completely bizarre.
What did you think when you get those emails? You must have been astonished, because this case, as we pointed out here, it had already gone through so many unbelievable twists and turns up to that point. So you get these emails. What's your thought?
Well, this is completely bizarre. Keep in mind, she had already been released at that point, but when she was still being held, I actually got an audio file, what we now call the proof of life audio file. It had Denise's voice on it saying, I'm Denise Huskins, I've been kidnapped, I'm okay, and she sounded completely calm. So the combination of that audio file with these emails, I didn't know what to think. I mean, I was a little concerned, like, why am I getting all these things? Am I a conduit? Am I means to an end? It was just something I couldn't explain.
Yeah, and ultimately, police did follow up on those emails. There was a suspect arrested, convicted, doing time in prison. But boy, to get to that point was something else. Describe your involvement in this docuseries, how that came about, and how you feel about being part of this.
Well, these are directors, producers who created the other series, Tinder Swindler, and they were very well regarded. And I eventually signed on to the series, and they had a number of interviews with me in the car, driving the car in Vallejo. We went to the couple's house in Vallejo, so it was really surreal to revisit the scene and kind of re-experience what they went through. But again, just to make it clear, Vallejo police did not act on any of the information. It was another agency, which we'll find out, that actually blew this case wide open.
You obviously have covered, as our crime reporter and working previously at the Chronicle, which you were doing at that time, you've covered so many major crime stories here in the Bay Area. Where does this one sort of sit with you? Is this one of the strangest, most bizarre cases you've ever covered? Yeah,
I think so. I don't think anything tops this. I mean, there's a combination of these details that the police didn't believe, and they did seem far-fetched. You know, bad guys coming in wetsuits.
Yeah.
You know, using goggles and sound recordings to cover, and you know, the fear that they instilled on Aaron Quinn, saying, we've got a camera watching you, it's got a red light on it, if you move, if you call 911, there goes Denise.
Yeah, I mean, the story really was unbelievable. But what do you think about Vallejo police and the way that they handled this? Was this just a case of, this is so complicated, so unbelievable, we're going to go down this path, but it does seem as though they ignored a lot of other avenues.
Yeah, and we'll see in this docuseries, for those of you who didn't see, I mean, a lot of the things that police said in the interrogation room to Aaron Quinn were were stunning. But of course, you and I know cops can lie to suspects. They can say whatever they want to try to elicit a confession. That's what they thought they were doing, but they created a lot of harm to both Aaron and Denise, completely.
We're almost out of time, Henry, but where was your head at early on in this case? Did you believe this story initially?
Well, I'll tell you, and you'll see this in some of the remaining episodes. The police, as a police reporter, historically, you are almost obliged to say, well, if the police say something, it must be true. Not anymore. We've learned from this case and others. You take everything with a grain of salt, no matter who's telling you something.
Yeah, a lot of important lessons learned from this case.
Yep.
All right, Henry, thank you so much. And the docuseries called American Nightmare out on Netflix starting today.